I just witnessed one of the most incredible moments of my life, watching my son be born. So firstborn son was born on Sunday. And one of the core foundations of chiropractic that makes chiropractic so different than any other profession is the term innate intelligence. And innate intelligence means our bodies are born, we have this inborn, this automatic power in us that runs and controls our bodies. It runs and controls your heart. It runs and controls your healing processes. It's in charge of everything in your body. And so when I say something was so innate, watching my wife deliver our son, she's just completely tapped into that power in her body that knows exactly what to do at the right time, in the right amount, at the right moment. And it's just one of the most humbling experiences. Those of you that have kids obviously understand. And that's the whole point of today's conversation. You can find innate intelligence anywhere in your life. It's all around you. It's in the trees, it's in your children, it's in your relationships, it's in the meals you choose to eat, it's in the cuts that heal on your body, it's in the millions of physiological processes that are going on right now while you're sitting here with me, and you don't even have to think about it. So the point of today is we're in a very unique situation as a culture, but you can use innate. You can use innate intelligence and looking for the innate in things to navigate through this crisis. So the challenge at hand is we have to coexist in a society that has a set of rules, and we call these laws. Now, the problem is the people that are often making these laws are not necessarily the right people. They're not necessarily the best person to do the job. So the solution is, and at least the best solution I can come up with right now is, follow the rules as best you can without compromising an innate lifestyle. So an innate lifestyle means you're living by the laws of earth and human existence so that you are giving your body what it needs and allowing it to do what it needs to keep you healthy, to keep your kids healthy, to keep your family healthy. And even though the situation at hand is not homeostatic or ideal, there's innate all around. And one of the best coaching moments you could ever have is when something bad happens or something rough happens to you, you say the words good, and then you start to find the good in it and you find a solution. So what we're going to do today is find a solution to the problem you're in, which is a high stress environment. Jobs are changing, kids are at home, spouses are working different hours, or spouses are working together at the house in the same area. There's nowhere to go. Your people are in your space. So good. Now let's find the good in it and let's maximize it and extract all the amazing innate things that are happening because of this. So research shows, as we talk about kids here, that kids who are on screens too long, they have issues with reading, with memory, with sleep, with attention, with language development. So what I'm going to go through is some of the negative things, some of the things that are going to happen because you're home too much with your family and how to correct them. And one of the things that's going to innately happen is more screen time. You are your spouse, your kids, everyone's going to be on screens more often because there's less to do socially. And this has a negative impact on sleep. This has a negative impact, as I said, 92.2% of one-year-olds have used a mobile device, and screen time before 18 months of age negatively impacts their brain development. They grab attention, but they shouldn't be grabbing attention as a compromise against health. They shouldn't be compromising health. So we're going to talk about what to do instead of letting them get on the screens all day. The other thing that happens is we have picky eaters in the house. There's no longer a school lunch program providing for the kids as we go back to school. No one's really sure what's happening with that yet. So your picky eaters, this is an opportunity to re-educate them, to shift them over and get some new foods in their diet, to take some foods that they already like and expand upon that. So 20 to 35% of toddlers are characterized by their moms and dads as picky eaters. So there's a few different tips I have for trying to get food into them that's healthy to nourish their body as they grow. One is hiding veggies and foods they already love. We all know they need vegetables. We all know they need nutrients and minerals from these amazing foods, but getting them in is a tricky way. Would be you're making them a healthy version of a macaroni and cheese, but you're adding broccoli to it. That's a good trick. Be persistent. It takes about 11 tries, research shows, to have a kid accept a new food. 11 tries. So if your kid doesn't like cauliflower right away, no big deal. That's try number 1, and get used to the idea that it's going to take a little bit. You can also try different recipes, which I've posted. If you go off to the side near the chat, there's an area where you can download handouts, and I've supplied some handouts on there that are there's a children's handout, a Max Kids recipe guidebook, and then there's an adult version. It's an immunity boosting program that you can literally plug and play. It's ready to go, and it's a week long, every single meal, all day, every day, on how to boost your immune system and follow these nutrition guidelines. So go over there, click on that, and download it before you forget. And if you do forget, I'm going to put the Dropbox link up as well, so we know I can get you onto that. Actually, I'm going to do the Dropbox right now, because if I forget to do it, that's a problem. So let me pull up your Dropbox link here. Healthy families. And I'm going to post that over here in the chat. So that is the link to get to all the files that I'll be discussing today. And that way you can download them, you can print them out, you can use them on your phone or your tablet. So back to your picky eaters. We know the next issue you're going to come in and encounter is playtime in the digital world versus real world playtime. We have so many kids that are getting used to watching TV for entertainment, watching tablet shows, watching YouTube, playing video games. One study found that children between the ages of 2 and 5 watch about 32 hours of television per week, and the recommended screen time for children of that age range is 1 hour, should be capped at 1 hour, and the show should be educational. So 32 hours, 32 times the amount of screen time. So we know that blue light coming off of these screens is damaging to their sleep habits. We know that screen time cuts into physical activity, which is going to make your child more sedentary, weaker bones, weaker heart, predisposed to diabetes, predisposed to other chronic conditions and immune conditions. And we also know that excessive social media and online video game networking that some of these kids are doing right now can interfere with real life relationships and puts them at an increased risk for low self-esteem and depression. So we've got to get them off the screens. Outdoor play, only about 5% of children meet their daily exercise recommendations. So it's recommended preschoolers have a very high amount of active playtime. They should be active at least 3 hours a day, physically running and moving and jumping to build their body. When they reach about the age 6, it's recommended that minimum of 1 hour a day, they should be out running, playing, jumping. This is their cardio exercise. This is their strength training. This is their neurology building program. By moving their body, they're going to change and increase their neurofeedback so they become stronger and more coordinated. So playing outside also increases social development. When your kids used to go and run around with their friends, that's social. Right now, you may have like a core group of friends your kids still hang out with and play with. Get them outside, get them in the backyard, play a game, and you may need to orchestrate and set up the game for them, but then let them play. The other thing to do is get them outside in the sun, 10 a.m., around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. when the sun isn't as bright. Get them outside, get them in their bathing suit, set up the sprinkler or whatever you can to get them out and get some natural vitamin D. It's going to help them get strong bones and maintain healthy weight. And then the other reality is you can use that as a gift as we get into some of their learning processes here. You can use it as a gift. You worked hard today. Let's go outside and run the sprinkler for an hour. Childhood obesity. And this is on the rise, as we know. We know upwards of 40% of Americans are obese, overweight or obese. Childhood obesity, 1 in 5 children and adolescents are considered obese. So that's not overweight or chubby. I'm talking 1 in 5, 20% of these kids are obese, which is going to predispose them, as we know, more common infections, earlier signs of heart disease, diabetes, cancers, immune conditions. So you may have a kid like this at home. This may be your nephew. This may be your niece. These kids are in a crisis and they need help getting out. Genetics play into this mildly, but the majority of this is environment. If you look at what a healthy kid is eating and what an obese kid is eating, it's going to be different. If you look at what an obese kid is doing every day versus a healthy kid doing every day, it's going to be different. We know these things are environmental. We know this. So we got to get those kids on track. My recommendation for all the kids that I'm adjusting and seeing in the clinic is these 4 supplements. We have a very basic kids line because children should be getting most of their nutrients through their foods, and they need a basic array of nutrients for development and some minor organ support so that they can grow up optimally. They're just like adults. We need some basic nutrients so our bodies can work right. And then some of you are on more advanced plans or programs to dig you out of a hole. The whole key with a kid is they shouldn't already be in a hole. They shouldn't be toxic. They shouldn't be autoimmune. They shouldn't have diabetes yet. They shouldn't have had time to develop these chronic issues. So let's stop it from happening in the first place by making sure their brains are working right, their nervous systems are working right, they're running around and they're playing, and they're on the right supplements. So if you have a kid at home, the number 1 supplement I recommend, everyone thinks it's going to be the multivitamin. It's actually the omega-3 and vitamin D, because these nutrients are so essential for immune and brain function, and they're very hard to get if you can't get them through your diet. There's not kids that are eating a lot of sardines and anchovies and tons of raw walnuts and ground flaxseed. So these omega-3s, EPA and DHA, they're taken from fish. Our body normally takes ALA, which is one of the more rudimentary ones, and builds EPA and DHA. So your kid is getting EPA and DHA straight from the supplement, and it has an amazing flavor, and it also has vitamin D3 in there. So these are huge. The other one that I always recommend is the multivitamin. Most of you understand the purpose of a multivitamin is you're going to take nutrients that your body needs across the board in moderate to sufficient levels every day. You're going to use what you need and get rid of the rest. And it's just ensuring that some of the foods are grown. They don't have the nutrient density they used to have 40, 50, 60 years ago because of our soil. Now we can ensure these nutrients are in there. And with MaxLiving and the way we produce these, the nutrients are in their most bioavailable form, meaning the body can take it and use it. Where if you get a synthetic vitamin or an improperly stored vitamin or a heated and destroyed vitamin, the body looks at these as foreign agents and they can actually be irritants. So I assure you, these are the supplements I'll be using with my son. These are the supplements that my patients use in the practice, and we see amazing results. The other 2 are powders. One is called the Max Kids Detox Powder. So the detox powder is a gentle stimulation for the liver and the gut. The liver and the gut is where food is processed and eliminated. It's where toxins are processed and eliminated. So what this does is it does a gentle stimulation on the liver to remove food additives, food colorings, airborne environmental things that have been inhaled by your children. And it's helping the liver nullify and silence these and then push them into the gut. And then in the gut, it uses apple pectin to stimulate normal bowel movements. Apple pectin is a prebiotic fiber, and so healthy bacteria can eat apple pectin, and then it brings water to the gut to make sure bowel movements are eliminating and flushing everything out. And this is so gentle. This is something you can have your kids stay on year round, or it's something that if you know you just went on vacation and you were eating out a lot and eating snacks or treats and cotton candy and all this garbage, then you do a 30 to 90 day detox period with the kid. There's 90 days of powder in that little canister. So that'll last 3 months. Same with the probiotics powder. The probiotics powder has fructooligosaccharides, prebiotic fiber as well, and essential probiotics that we know are beneficial for the gut flora, for digestion, and for immune function. So if you can do all 4 of these and get into a routine with your kid, I'll tell you right now, the omega tastes incredible. It's like a strawberry lemonade flavor. And I know the kids multi, I've eaten them many times. They taste like a non-toxic, healthy version of a Flintstone vitamin, which the Flintstones are toxic. This is non-toxic. The probiotic powder just mixes in any drink or a yogurt or apple sauce or a smoothie. You should be doing smoothies with your kids. It just mixes into that. And the detox is a little trickier. I would put that into something with flavor just because the apple pectin can be a little bit bitter. That's just the little tip on that. I also included links on where to get those on the Planet Chiropractic website. that's in the Dropbox. If you go to the Dropbox link, and it's under, there's a handout. It's called Handout for Healthy Families During Hard Times. That has all the information on what each supplement does, which one should be taken, in what dose, when, based on the age of your child. So it's all in there. It's all done for you. Take a look at that. Let me know if you have any questions. So as I go into this too, core chiropractic, we're calling it core chiropractic in this because it's literally the core of what we're doing. It's literally the core of your health. Your brain and nervous system dictate what nutrients you absorb. Your brain and nervous system dictate what chemicals you release. It dictates how you respond to a virus. It dictates how you respond to any other infection. It dictates everything. So obviously, if it controls everything, it can impact when you have musculoskeletal injuries in your child, or you're a little kid who's playing sports or falling off your bike. You know, some of your children or your neighbors, your nephews, some of the people you go to church with, you've heard of these colicky babies, fussy babies, or torticollis, where their necks are jammed like this, bedwetting, asthma, ear infections. It's actually interesting. I feel like a majority of my children patients, if they're beyond the age of about 5, they're usually coming in with a health issue. And it's amazing because none of the health issues are pain related, where adults associate chiropractic with pain, which is wrong. I mean, chiropractic can help with pain, but chiropractic is about aligning the spine and nervous system to allow maximal healing and functioning. And so that's why you can adjust a child and fix their upper neck, release pressure on the neurology and the blood vessels that go to the ear, and their body can stop getting ear infections because they're healthier. They can change their breathing patterns and their immune function after an adjustment and reduce asthma and eliminate asthma symptoms. They can reduce enuresis, aka bedwetting, due to sacral and low back mispositionings. There's a miscue going on from the brain down to the nerves that control the bladder. And when you relieve that pressure, the body starts functioning right and the kid gets healthier. So it's an incredible tool, not only to get rid of these common symptoms in childhood for kids, but more importantly is checking and preventing these things from ever happening in a child. I mean, my son is 5 days old. I've checked him every day since he was born, adjusted him 3 times. And again, it's a light little alignment. My wife, a physical therapist, we noticed he was laying. He didn't want to turn this way as much. So we did some light stretching and opened up his neck. His neck's now healing the way it's supposed to be, where if I'd never checked that, he might have a neck problem for the next 10 years that turns into ear infections and sinus issues that we never even knew about. Major traumas that need to be checked on kids: C-section delivery, vacuum extractions, forceps delivery. There's a guaranteed issue with the neck, and almost always, a normal vaginal delivery, there's usually some issues as well, because those of you that have kids, it's not the most easy thing in the world to come out through the birth canal. But the other thing is a lack of movement. So some of these kids are being born and they're not subluxated and damaged that much, but their car seats, their carriers, their bouncies, they're damaging and irritating the spine, so they need to be checked. This is just some more warning signs. So what I'm going to go through right now are some tips to go through at home. Right now, here's what we can do to start fixing this. So number one is make a schedule. You're at home, you can get lost in your flow. You forget what you need to accomplish that day. You forget who needs to do what. You're sitting with you're hearing this, there's that going on, there's a lot of distraction. Make a schedule. It doesn't have to be 10:02 p.m., heat this up. Come on. It needs to be a basic framework for your day so you know where you're going, and there needs to be scheduled times for family time. There needs to be scheduled times for the kids playing or the older kids working and self-learning, the adults working separately so they have some free time, and then we come together for lunch or dinner. So there's an amazing, incredible opportunity right now for you, your spouse, your family, whether you have kids or not, to bond and change your relationship and deepen your relationship right now because you have less distractions. Take advantage of it. But make a schedule, because otherwise the day will get away from you. Eating a healthy breakfast is the number one thing you could do in your life to ensure that the rest of your day is going to be healthy. The rest of your day is not going to be filled with bowel irritation and gut problems and all these other problems. Just wake up in the morning. Kids who eat a complete breakfast make fewer mistakes throughout the day, they say. because their brain was nourished right away. Choose breakfasts like we do a lot of quiche or frittatas. You can bake them in a big Pyrex, and they can be breakfast for 2 or 3 days. Smoothies is an obvious go-to for us. I'm sitting here in the hospital. We've been doing powdered smoothies over here. We brought macadamia nut milk, the plant protein, and max greens. So we've been making smoothies in here. We've been doing guac, scooping up guac on carrots. Thank God my mom brought some of that stuff. So a lot of these things can be done anywhere, anytime. Avocado toast for kids that contains everything you need for healthy fats, and it tastes amazing. So those are some good options. After doing a healthy breakfast, meal prepping goes right in hand with that. So because you're eating most of your meals at home now, there's no longer this, I have a quick thing while I'm going to work, or I'll grab something at work, then I go out to eat for lunch, and then we're going to order in dinner. Now it's, you're home. When you go to the grocery store, all you need is a basic plan. Like I said, I've already attached that in the handout section. Download it for the kids, the Max Kids Eating Plan. It's got a whole week scheduled out. For the adults, it's got the Immune Boost protocol. Get in there, download it, print it out, bring it with you to the grocery store. It has the shopping list in there. There's checklists. I did all the work for you. There's no excuses. You literally go to the store, you buy all the stuff, you go home, and you start prepping out. And it has the meal schedule in there. It says, here's Monday morning, here's Tuesday morning. So you know for the next 3 mornings, you're going to do this, this, and then this. So smoothie, and then organic strawberries, organic strawberries. There's your 3 days breakfast. Next, you go down. So you might go grocery shopping 2 or 3 days a week, and then you just meal prep and get that stuff ready, put it in the refrigerator, and then it's so easy that you can't make mistakes and you don't get those cravings and order out. So that's what the recipe book looks like. The first page there, they're showing, just the cover, and then you can see the meal plan is the little circles, and then there's a recipe right there already with the banana boats. Those are phenomenal. So take a look at that. Getting outside in the morning is an incredible trick. So a lot of you are getting up and you're just kind of getting into your routine and mostly forgetting on what's going on for the day. Well, getting outside in the morning is going to get you out of your pajamas, into your clothes, fresh air. Go for a bike ride, go for a walk. If you have a dog, take the dog out, and it just starts your day. And I guarantee you're going to be more productive. You're going to feel less stressed out, and you're already going to naturally do a little bit of scheduling in your mind. If you didn't do a real schedule for the day, you're going to do a little bit in your mind while you're walking and relaxing or running around with the kids. Get outside first thing in the morning. Get out of the house. For those of you with older kids, prepare independent work for them. A lot of them have summer reading, or they're old enough where you can say, hey, go work on this for an hour. Some of you are used to homeschooling, and you can set up some lighter summer programs for them. But let them go work for an hour by themselves. They're old enough they can self-teach. And while they're doing that, if you have younger or toddler age kids, you make what's called a busy bag. And a busy bag is they have some felt, they have some magnets, they have maybe some paper and some crayons and coloring books. And so your older kids are doing work and learning, and you're going to check in on them in an hour. Your younger kids are playing and entertaining, and you can supervise them. And then you knock out your meal planning right then and there. And then everyone comes back together and you can relax, right? That's buying you some free time. It's buying the kids some free time and alone time. And then you can get the meal prepping and some other household things done, or some work done for the office while the kids are also getting work done. So a lot of this is honing the stress and chaos in. Again, you have more free time now than you did 6 months ago. You're not driving around as much. You're not picking the kids up as much. You're not going anywhere as much. You have more free time. You just need to organize it more effectively, and your life will literally feel lighter. Again, coronavirus happened. We're on a quarantine and a moderate lockdown. Good. What are the opportunities here? What are the opportunities? And then reward, like I said earlier, reward work with outdoor play. So outdoor play can be either family time, or again, if you have some family that you're close with, you don't mind seeing, just depends how stringent you're being on seeing other people right now. But go outside, play, throw the ball around, play some catch, kick the soccer ball, run in the sprinkler, go for a bike ride. There's a million things you could do. Eat lunch together. You already meal prepped it out. You got your kids plan, you got your adult plan. Boom, everyone comes together. You're hanging out, you're looking at each other's faces, and you're getting that social time and that intimate family time that you're missing from a lot of your other social areas. So some of you are going to have less social life, but more intimate family life, which again, incredible gift. Learning from home, virtual museum tours. I know museums are doing that. I know some of the museums here in Chicago are opening up and they're doing free days with, spacing everybody out. So go do it. Farm tours, zoo tours. I'm sure you can do online video tours. Get into nutrition for adult humans. I just need to point out some massive mistakes that are being made right now. You're sitting at home too much. I promise you're eating too much sugar. Here's the risk. When you're at home eating too much sugar, sugar increases what's called advanced glycation end products. These are inflammatory proteins that go all over the body. And inflammation uses up what's called your ACE2, angiotensin converting enzyme 2. We know, based on coronavirus research, that people who are inflamed, that have higher ages, that have eaten up and used and depleted their ACE2 reserves, have a higher risk for coronavirus. So we know, you guys, there's a BJ Palmer quote going around right now, which is phenomenal, that says, if the germ theory were real, there wouldn't be anyone alive to believe in it. And what that means is, if germs cause disease and you touching things and breathing things and eating germs and viral particles, if it really was that dangerous, every single one of us would be dead, because there's nothing you can do to prevent exposure to these germs. What you can do is change your physiology to make sure that your body can adequately deal with the bad germs and maintain a good environment for the good germs. Again, there's healthy bacteria, healthy viral particles all over you that we have yet to even discover. So cut the sugar, and it's going to cut your chances of getting sick. And the way you cut the sugar is you got to get on the MaxLiving Advanced Plan. We have resources. You go to www.planet-chiro.com, and on there, there's healthy articles, there's recipes. Again, I already put together the nutrition guide for you. But with the MaxLiving Advanced Plan, you're going to be eliminating bad carbohydrates, sugar. You're going to be eliminating toxic industrial meats, and you're going to be eliminating bad fats. And so the opposite of that is you're going to be bringing in tons of healthy plant-based carbohydrates. You're going to be bringing in properly raised healthy protein, and you're going to bring in healthy fats. And when you do that and fuel your body completely differently, everything's going to change for you. You'll lose weight, you'll sleep better, you'll have better mental clarity, better energy. It's a no-brainer. And of course, you'll have better immune function. Stress. So the other thing I want to hit on right now is there's a lot of things out of your control. There's a lot of things with your job, with your income, with your mortgage, with your kids, with school, with planning for the future. Some of you have kids that just graduated and they don't know where they're going or if they're even allowed to go. They're leaving middle school, going to high school in these transitional years, and they don't even know if they're allowed to go. Again, these things are out of your control. So what I recommend is you plan and you stay educated and you stay updated on it. But ultimately, your job is to support your kids and support your spouse, and they need to be supporting you. And I want to say, you guys, they're role modeling you. So they're literally watching you right now, seeing how you're behaving. They're looking at you, seeing if, I don't know, should I be nervous right now? Should I be worried about this? My mom and dad seem worried about it. My brother seems worried about it. Maybe this is a little worse than I thought. When we don't know what the school situation is going to look like, so what's the point in freaking out about it if you can't control it? What you need to do instead is plan the 3 different scenarios. My kids are going to be home with me all year next year. They're going to be hybrid in school and at home. So here's how the meal plans would look. Here's how the supplements would look. Here's how the activities would look. How am I going to keep them healthy? Or they're going to go back to full-time school. And what does that look like? How do I make sure that they're eating the right things at school, packing their lunches? How do I make sure that they're healthy when they're getting exposed to kids? Again, the rules haven't changed. They've been going to school forever, right? I've been alive for 34 years. I haven't worn a mask once until March when I was forced to wear a mask, and I'm still here to talk about it. So the rules haven't changed. Health is still health, and you're still in control of your health. So you can worry about what you're in control of, but do not stress about the things you're not in control of. Because guess what? They're going to shut your immune system down, and now you're more susceptible to getting sick. Now you're going to have less focus at work. You're more likely to lose your job. You understand? So stay focused, stay positive, and be careful about who you're letting the stress out on. Okay? maybe you and your spouse or you and a friend have a time where you can talk kind of quietly and say, like, man, I'm really worried about this. But that doesn't need to be done in front of your kids. They don't need to see that. They're role modeling you. They're going to follow your lead. My recommendation is, I wrote on here, to stressorcise. So exercise is one of the most phenomenal ways to physiologically change the stress response and mentally unplug from the treadmill of worry and get outside and just return to a physical presence instead of more of a mental presence. And what I mean by that is when you're sitting there fixating on something and getting lost in it, you literally almost leave your physical body and go into your head. And the stress cycle continues, where exercise is a great way. You see these guys jumping rope, go outside for a jog, go on a bike ride, go to Max T3. I wrote on there, maxt3.com. It's free right now. MaxLiving's made it free, so you have no excuse. We have the workouts pre-programmed. They're 12 minutes long, and you don't need any equipment. You just do them in your house. And you spend 12 minutes bringing your mental brain, shutting that down, and physically interacting with your environment, and it will change how you feel the rest of the day, I promise you. So before you seek medications, I'm not saying not to call somebody or go see a counselor if you're feeling extremely depressed or anxious, but you have to add in stressorcise to that. Go outside and exercise. Go in your front room and exercise. Go in your living room and exercise. Bring the kids with you. Bring your spouse with you. It's a family thing to do. The other thing that I recommend for people is we have a sleep and mood formula, which is made to help your body naturally decrease its stress response. This is not a medication. This doesn't make up for eating right, exercising, getting adjusted, and living a healthy lifestyle. But what it does do is give your body an inactive form of serotonin, which is what, in the medical field, that's what they're giving with antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications. They're called SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or monoamine oxidase inhibitors, MAOIs. Their job is to flood you with feel-good serotonin. That's what the medications do. They force your nervous system to feel good. This doesn't force it, but it's giving you serotonin, and it's giving you an active form of vitamin B6 that can come in and readily convert that inactive form, if needed, into active serotonin. So people that have tried this will tell you better sleep, calmer feeling throughout the day. I recommend you take it if you're struggling with sleep. Take one of them about an hour or two before you go to bed the first night and see how you do. And you may need to take it a little bit closer to bedtime. You may need to take it a little bit earlier next time, maybe 2 hours before or 3 hours, to help you kind of calm down into sleep. People use it during the day sometimes. If you know you have stressful meetings coming up, or lunchtime and getting everything ready with the kids and then getting them into their rooms so they can do some work is very stressful for you, that's a good time to take sleep and mood. Things get crazy at 1 p.m., I'm going to take it at noon. So there's 60 capsules in here, so it'll last you 2 months if you're taking one a day. You can take 2 a day. It's not a hard limit on that. Again, this is inactive serotonin, giving your body the chance to activate it. So you're not going to OD on it, but I wouldn't take more than 2 or 3 a day. If you're still that stressed out, it means you're not working out good enough, or you've got to do some mindset work to figure out what's still pulling at you. But these are the things that you guys are in control of during this. A healthy family during a hard time is actually easier than you think it is. You get on the MaxLiving Advanced Plan for you and the kids. Download over here in the handouts area, the 2 handouts I put in there for you. Go over to the Dropbox. I've got a summary handout on the supplements I discussed. I've got a review of the Advanced Plan. I've got the Immunity Booster Program on there, the Max Kid Recipe Book, and a school lunch chart. So you can kind of pre-plan what's going on for each day for the kids. It just gives you a nice framework so you can focus on, and it helps you do a little bit of the grocery shopping. So download those links. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me any emails. I always love hearing great feedback when you start implementing these things and lives start changing. But rest assured, you're in control of this and you're doing the right thing.